Hi there, it's Dr. Tom with EBM Fitness Solutions. Welcome into day 3 of EBM's Ab Week. Today is going to all be about the push-up position. So everything we're going to do is going to start from that position and kind of add different things to that position. Now, if getting on the floor is challenging for any number of reasons, most of these exercises can also be done from an inclined position. I'll include a video in the description, but basically if you're at home, maybe a countertop, the side of a bed, a dresser, the back of the couch, something like that might be a good alternative if getting on the floor is challenging. One thing that will kind of be a general rule for all these things is that in the push-up position, the hands are pretty much going to be under the shoulders. And when you're in that position, try to think about squeezing your shoulder blades, kind of like, almost like screwing your hands into the ground. So your hands won't do this, they won't move nearly as far, but it helps to kind of lock in the shoulders and put everything into a better position. You do want to think about creating total body tension. So shoulders, arms, abs, glutes, legs, everything is squeezed tight all the way through. From the time you set up until the time you finish, you want to think about that total body tension idea. So that being said, let's get to our first exercise. First exercise we're going to look at is the push-up plank. Basically, it's a push-up position that you just hold. Something that I want to talk about is something I also mentioned during the front plank video, is the idea of having good sort of spinal mechanics both during your setup and then as you do the exercise. So what you want to think about, and if you have somebody at home that can check this for you, it's a great idea. Grab something, again, a stick, something like this, a dowel, a broomstick, something that is maybe 3 feet long or so, and what you want to have is contact with the back of your head, in between your shoulder blades, and down by your tailbone. And that should be maintained all the way through the exercise. So for the push-up plank, you're going to get into a push-up position. Again, hands are under the shoulders. Once I'm down, I'm going to think about kind of screwing my hands into the ground to help stabilize and lock in my shoulders. One of the things that people tend to do is they let their head drift forward. So although it's not a good look for most people, double chin, right? Kind of pack your neck in and tuck your chin in that way to keep your neck lined up with the rest of your spine. So I can actually do a bit of a modified position, like the modified plank. I can go into quadruped, hands and knees, and then move into my push-up position from there. So from here, I can actually set my neck, lock in my shoulders, and then walk back into my push-up position. From here, it's all about total body tension. Then when I'm done, I can come back to my quadruped position and the exercise or that set is done. But make sure, take the time to set those things up. And if you lose the head position, your set should end. Having you start one way and finish with your low back kind of caved in, your head forward, that means you're doing it incorrectly. That means you should stop your set, not just power through with terrible technique. So really focus on how you do it, keep that total body tension, and then we'll see you for the next exercise. The next movement we're going to look at is a push-up position with what's called hip extension. So we're going to be lifting the leg up off the ground. This is very similar to the front plank with the marching that we did. So you're going to get up, set up in a similar position into your push-up position, and you're going to alternate lifting the legs up off the ground. Focus on squeezing your glute, your butt muscle of the leg that's moving. So you want to squeeze the glute, you don't want to swing your leg. And remember, like the front plank, the leg only comes up a little bit, because once your hip has extended all the way, right here, my hip is extended. If I want to keep going, I have to now get into my low back and move the low back. So keep that in mind, that it's not going to be a lot of range of motion for this one. So let's get into our push-up position first. Hands down, screw the hands into the ground so my shoulders are locked in. Move into my push-up position, and now squeezing my glute, leg comes up, back down. Squeeze the glute, back down, squeeze the glute. One of the things to focus on is being deliberate, which doesn't mean fast or slow necessarily, but it means make sure that you feel the right muscles working. Take the time to really focus on how you're doing it. Don't just go back there flailing your legs around trying to get a certain number of reps or try to get it over quick. Doing fewer good reps is always going to benefit you more than shooting for some random number.